Guys, so we got a real treat today. First time we've ever had the Air Force in my class today. Some of you guys have been with me two years, so you guys know. We're really excited to have the Air Force here today. They're going to talk about the opportunities that they offer. You guys have seen the other branches. Now you can compare. All right. Please give them your full attention. Please be engaged. Ask questions. All right. It's been pretty successful, the presentation. Everybody's found it pretty interesting. All right. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and talk about their background, talk about the opportunities in the Air Force. Again, please pay attention, please be engaged. All right. Go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Come on, I didn't anything from this side. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Sergeant Ripley with the United States Air Force. I'm also the local recruiter for this school, and then I can also recruit you if you're interested in the Space Force as well too. How many of you guys know anything about the Air Force? Nothing? You guys know we fly planes though, right? Okay, you know something then. Don't be shy. Do you guys know anything about the Space Force? Ever heard of it? Never heard of it? Don't believe it's real? You said what?
First time I hear about it.
First time you heard about it? You guys never seen the Space Force show on Netflix? That's not real. Yeah, so the Space Force is real. It's fairly new. They've always been in the Air Force though, but they kind of just branched off to focus more on like the satellite aspect, working hand in hand with the other agencies as well too. Cyber and Intel, that's their main focus though. In the Air Force, we have over 130 different career fields, which we'll get more into in a second. But how many of you guys are already joining the military? What branch are you joining, sir? Alright, what made you choose the Marines?
They called me.
They called you? Anyone else join the military? No? How many of you guys know for sure you're never joining? Why is that, sir? Your parents? I hear that one a lot. Anyone else know they're never joining? Why is that?
Something interesting.
Not something that interests you? What does interest you? What grade are you in? 10? Do you already know what you want to do after high school? No? Then this may interest you, sir. You plan on moving out of your parents' house?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, just stay tuned. I got something for you. Alright, so again, like I said, I'm Techno Sergeant Ripley with the United States Air Force. How long do you guys think I've been in? Someone who doesn't know the answer has already been in this class.
15 years.
10 years?
25.
25? 15?
6 months.
How many? 20? Alright, so do you guys know what the retirement age for the military in general is?
45.
No, just to retire from the military. So it's going to be 20 years of service. So pretty much, do you guys know what the retirement age for the civilian side, like if you weren't in the military?
60.
60, 65, 67? Yeah, every year it's kind of increasing too, so that's something to keep your eyes on. So 20 years of service, that means I've been in for 15 years. In January, I'll hit 16 years. 4 more years, I'll be able to retire. That means I'll be 39. 39, 67. Big gap, right? So that's just one of the benefits of joining the military too. 20 years of service. Now I can go start a second job and collect a check from the government too. So that's something to keep in mind. Alright, this is kind of an overview of what we're going to cover today. Our mission, I'll let you guys read our mission statement. Recruiter, kind of like a little bit about me essentially. Qualifications to join, the benefits of joining, and then kind of the Air Force needs, like our main focus when it comes to career building. And then throughout this process though, I know it says questions down at the bottom, but if you guys have questions, just go ahead and raise your hand and I'll be able to answer those. Alright, so our mission, I'll let you briefly read that real quick. Alright, so essentially Air Force mission, air and space. Air and space, that is our main mission. If we win that battle, then we win the war. Cyberspace, satellite portions of space in general. Alright, so like I said, I was born in Virginia at around the age of like 7 or 8. I moved to California, so that's kind of where home was for me. That's where I grew up. 15 years in the Air Force, and then early 16. Before I became a recruiter, I was in traffic management, which is logistics career field. And there we deal with like cargo, inbound, outbound, surface freight. So anything transportation really kind of comes to the logistics aspect of what my job was. And then we have other sections within our career field too that we can do as well too. Assignments, my first duty station, I was stationed in England. So leaving California, going to another country, England, and then I was stationed in Alabama, and then I was stationed in Arizona, and now I'm here in Miami. While I've been in two, I've been on 6 deployments. Have you guys ever heard of those? Like, know what those were? Yeah. So essentially, like if you've seen in movies what the people call going to war, that's what the new term is, kind of like a deployment or a temporary duty assignment. So I've been on 6 of those. The good thing about being in the Air Force, I did my job while I was gone. And then for my position, not everyone's is the same. I never had to carry a weapon. So I know a lot of people's fears of what you see in movies, oh, I'm going to war, I don't want to have to carry a gun or something like that. Not every branch is like that. Like I said again, our mission there is based. I'm not a pilot or anything like that, so my mission was logistics. So I just stuck to my job and I didn't have to carry a weapon. I've been to the UAE, which is United Arab Emirates. If you ever heard of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, I've been to Jordan. I've been in Kuwait. While on my deployments, I've been to Ferrari World while in Dubai. I've been to the Burj Khalifa, world's tallest building, and then I've been to like Dubai Mall, Dirt Bike Mountain, and the mountains of Jordan and stuff like that too. So every branch has its different things you can do, but we all have to find like some kind of stress reliever while we're away from family and doing our job in another country as well too. So those are kind of things I did while I was away and had the opportunity to do while being in the Air Force. Did you have a question, sir?
Yeah, so you said that you don't have your weapons, so like if you're on base, like if you're on base in Afghanistan, let's say, or wherever the case may be, or now, wherever the war behind, you don't have to be armed. Like,
Yes. So certain locations you do have to carry weapons, but for me, I was fortunate enough throughout my career, I never had to carry one. But if you were in countries like that,
so you do get trained for it.
yes. No matter what, you're still always going to get trained before you go to the desert for your deployment on weapons. So you still have to be qualified to do that stuff. So in case something does happen, like you're ready for that. All right. So as far as family goes, I'm here currently in Miami. I have a girlfriend here, and then we have a French bulldog, and then close friends that we encounter with. That's kind of my family here. No matter where you go throughout your military career, you can find your own family of friends that you consider your family. Family is what you make of it, per se. Some of my hobbies include video games. I'm an Xbox guy, Apex, Call of Duty. Those two are my main games. If you're a PlayStation guy, I'm sorry, but it's all about the Xbox. Food, I love food. I love to eat. I love to try new places, things I've never had. Being in Miami has been a great opportunity. There's so many different cultures here, lots of good food too. Sneakers, I'm not a sneakerhead, but I do have a lot of shoes. Like I love shoes too. So those are kind of some of my hobbies. Like I go to comedy shows, events, and stuff like that as well too. Music events. That's kind of what I do in my off time. A lot of people's misconception about joining the military. This is you every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Who in here thinks that? Nobody?
We got it. This is not the first branch that comes like and presents to us. I think we've had every branch now. Like you guys are the last one. Like it's kind of like already understand like the whole like military downtime and how it works.
That's great to hear that. Then. So yeah, other people who don't get the opportunity to have all the branches come though, they think that like this is you all day every day, but it's you have a normal life being in the military too. Most standard jobs in the Air Force, 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. Your weekends are your weekends, and then you also get like vacation time, which we'll get into in a second. And then kind of why I joined, like so after high school, I knew I didn't want to go to college. But little did I know, joining the Air Force, you're automatically enrolled in college. I was working dead end jobs, so to me they were dead end jobs. I worked at FedEx, Harbor Freight, and then I worked for like Putt Golf. Came a point to where I was just like, this isn't for me. Gave myself a deadline. My mom, she wanted me to join the Air Force, so I kind of took that route on. And then I just never looked back since then. When I was in high school, I was in your same shoes. Like a recruiter come to my school, my buddy said, "Hey, I'm joining the Air Force." I looked at him and laughed, but now the joke's on me because I'm in the Air Force, you choose not. So I say that to say this, like right now, you may not think you're ever going to join, but after life happens and you have to be an adult, things change and there's other opportunities that can set you up to where you want to be in life too. So that's why I chose this course and haven't looked back since then. Alright, so I'll let them do introductions about themselves, and then I'll get back into qualifications.
Hello everyone, I'm MSSH. I've been in the Air Force for about 5 months. I already finished basic training. and TSgt. My job is aircraft maintenance. I'm gonna be working with the P2, the steel bombers, the airplane right there in the computer. Uh, I joined the Air Force because I want to be a pilot. I was going to college, Miami-Dade College. I was doing a major in professional pilots technology, but they were the pilots I was only covering for the ground school. They were not covering for the flight training. So I decided to join the Air Force. I never thought joining the military or the Air Force or any branch. But at the end, I saw a good opportunity that the Air Force was going to provide me, and I could be able to also get a good experience, job experience, and experience in the sector that I wanna be working in aviation. That's a good stepping stone for me to get in the aviation world. That's the reason why I joined it. Also, I always saw other branches. People were recommending to join like the Marines or the Navy, but I decided the Air Force because the Air Force, like, they take care more of you. Also, I can prove because I've been to basic training and the food is good. The lifestyle is better. We got more times off than other branches because other branches they're a little bit more strict. That's why how is. So yeah, if you guys interested, you guys know.
Hey guys, I'm Aaron Perez. I enlisted in August, went basic training August 15th, so I've been in about 4 months. I just graduated in May, so I was literally in your seats like less than a year ago. Um, when I when I was in school, I didn't know what I wanted. I knew I wanted to go to UF. That was my dream school. I was like, I'm gonna work hard, and I did work hard. I worked hard in school, but I knew from myself there was something better I could do because outside of your little circle, outside of Miami, there's a whole world out there. So for me, I'm a first generation in a Hispanic household, so I knew I wanted to do something bigger, better for my life. So Air Force recruiters came, talked to my school. I wasn't interested. I was like, I'm not gonna listen to what they say. And then later on, life just leads you to a different path. So I started my process in March, literally 2 months before I graduated. I shipped out, but I can say I have no regrets. I love it here. Just the opportunity you guys have is so like it makes a big difference. I've always wanted to travel, and my first duty station is in Guam, so I'm gonna be overseas. Um, so I feel like they gave me a better opportunity at that. And I'm still sticking to college. I want to get my degree in marketing. I want to open my own business. So I have a dream too. But just because, like, don't think that just because you're in the military, that the dream that you're going for, that's it. That's the end of it. The Air Force can help you get to that dream. So right now, I don't pay rent. I don't pay for my school. They pay for my school. So like I'm working more for my future. And honestly, outside of high school, like once you guys are done, none of this is gonna matter. Like there's a whole world out there, and like being an adult is hard. Like I've seen my parents struggle, but I did it for myself and for my family. So yeah, just saying, there's a future. Just think about your future. Don't have the mindset of being like a high schooler forever. It's not gonna all matter. And the Air Force gives you a lot of experience in life, which helps you. Even if you do just like want to do 4 years, 6 years, outside of that, being in the Air Force does give you a lot of experience, so it's easier to get a civilian job. But yeah, that's me. So,
Hello, I am A1C Kirkland. I also just got done with tech training, about 8 months total with BMT and then 6 months of the tech training. For what my job is, it's nuclear weapon detection at its core. So if somebody sets off a nuke underground, above ground, in space, we can tell where it was, when it was, how big it was, what was in it, who did it, everything about it. There's mechanical side, there's the data analysis side, which is what I do. So there's sensors that we have that need to be maintained, checked on, whole 9 yards. So you can go to Alaska with a shotgun on your back on an ATV and just ride out, make sure everything's good. You can go to New Zealand, you can go to Antarctica, do the same kind of thing. My brother, he's also doing the same job, also data analysis. He just recently, the Army had him go out to Europe, into Germany, put him in a 5-star hotel, hung out there for a little bit, fixed it in like a day or two, had the rest of the 2 weeks to just fart around Europe. They're done. Pretty cool job. As for why I wanted to join, for reasons like that aside, because that's awesome. The education benefits are great. So while I'm in, I can get that going. I don't know if he's still in here. Somebody was talking about the cybersecurity certifications. Those are fantastic for when you get out. They paid a lot of money to do that. So stuff like that, pride in the country. It's all I've ever wanted to do. And then, so when I got out of high school, I was just kind of like farting around, having a good time with my friends, going out. I was working in a restaurant for a while. And that's fun for a little bit. And then eventually, as you get a little older, because I'm 26, I'm an old man now, you get into a rut and it starts to it's kind of dead end. And if you're not careful, you get stuck there. So joining has been great because I'm doing something that matters. It's a cool job. I'm going to have tons of things that I can take when I get out. You do career, you have all those benefits. You can get the second job, like Sergeant Ripley said. And so you're sitting real pretty compared to your friends who decide to stay and just do whatever they do. So, all in all, it's a really good choice. It's a good time. BMT is a blast. Don't let it scare you. You get there that first week or two, you're like, oh, what did I do? And eventually you fall into it. It is so much fun. You meet plenty of great people, tons of places. Yeah.
They teach you all that?
What? Yeah.
In the military, like detection, coding, all that?
Yeah, so in my courses, I had to do all the math, orbital mechanics, physics, nuclear physics. I had to learn coding, which I'm a caveman when it comes to that kind of stuff, and that was brutal. So in 2 months, I had a friend that was doing coding in actual school. She had been in for maybe 6-7 months, and I had gone way past anything that she had ever done. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but they're there making sure that you know how to do it. The instructors are there to help you. And by the time you get out, you're going to realize, holy crap, I might be goated. I'm pretty cool now.
Before you joined the military, did you want to go into that, like the nuclear protection, coding, all of that, or was that just the job given to you and you just learned it there?
No, so originally I wanted to do airborne surveillance, because that just sounded cool, but for whatever reason I didn't qualify for that one. But I did qualify for the 9S100 position. My brother was already doing it, so it's one of the higher rated jobs, and as far as skills you learn that you can take out, it was the best option. So, and then it had just opened up when I went to MEPS, because normally you gotta wait like months to get it, because it's a small career field. So I didn't qualify for mine, and it was open, so I took it in a heartbeat. And I got the shit onto it, but it's been fun so far.
What do you plan on doing after the military?
So I'm plan is to do career. Where I'm going in Ohio, a lot of people get there, they do 6 years, and then there's a lot of civilian contractors. They'll get out and they'll just do that immediately. So I'm going to do that probably eventually. So I can either go the school route, because I do not like school very much, I got to tell you. I tried it once, not for me, but I'm a little older now, maybe I can get over it. So I can go to school, regular on commission, keep going in for maybe 30 years, whatever it is. I'm going to do the certifications, because again, the contractors, I had an instructor who got out, and he got a job immediately for like 150, 160K, somewhere in there, I think, at the lowest as a starting, just because he had those certifications and the experience. So I could go the contractor route, I could stay in, I could go to school, take that, and just work at a company as like an IT guy. Not sure yet. I have a long way to go, so right now I'm kind of seeing where I end up and what pieces are going to fall into place, but that's the big idea at the moment.
Can you talk about how you actually detect nukes, or is that classified?
Not really.
Okay.
I will say, as far as like little things like
Is it like satellites?
Yeah, so the satellites, people always think like, oh, when a nuke goes off, everybody's gonna know, but like, I remember I was looking at the map, and there's like a little island right off of Russia, up near like the North Pole, that unless you're staring right at it, you're not gonna see it. So there's satellites that can pick up flashes from around, there's seismometers that can pick up the waves that propagate through the earth. There's a plane that flies around, if there's a suspected location that will catch the air. They send it to a lab, and then they'll see what's actually going on.
Why would a nuke blow up?
Like North Korea's off their rocker, and it's gonna like take over the world because they're insane and they just are testing them. At this point in time, you know, we got it figured out. We've had it figured out. We made the things. Well, some of these countries out there, you know, they're just figuring it out. They want to have a little fun with it. So that would be why, I suppose.
So guys, this job is incredibly important because when a nuke goes off, like seconds count. Like you don't literally only have you only have a certain amount of time before that nuke hits wherever it wants to go. So then you can take measures against it, right? You guys can shoot a nuke out of the sky and all that, right, or something. Or,
That's above my pay grade right now. Right now, I'm learning how to code it, but
I've seen like documentaries on that. You guys, there's a capability to do that.
yeah. As far as US goes, we have like a whole bunch of toys.
Yeah.
But it's for a good point of like, if it goes up, we need to know. So the Air Force became its own branch in 1947, and 2 days before that, I believe it was Eisenhower, said that if a nuke goes off, we need to know, and created the 9S program. And then Air Force. So we've been around. Technically, we're the oldest job in the Air Force. But that's a funny story. I don't know if you guys know what the Roswell incident is. You know, like, so you guys have seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
You know that one scene where he like crash lands, he's in the radiation suit, and like that lady comes out and freaks out and get the shotgun, that whole thing. I'm pretty sure that's like making fun of the Roswell, where it was like a whole thing. Oh my God, there's aliens and the whole thing. So at the time, nuclear detection was, very new. Nukes had only just been invented. So radiation suits and all that kind of stuff, nobody really knew what that was at all. So before we had satellites, they were kind of playing around with like strapping the camera to a balloon, essentially, and sending it way up to kind of float over and take pictures. One of those went down, and because this is so new, it was so top secret at the time, it's sensitive information, they got to go collect that. So 9Ss have a reputation of being extremely socially awkward and don't like speaking, and like they just like they can do their thing. So they had to send a guy out there to go get it. So he goes out there in a radiation suit that nobody's ever seen, and he's like picking up all these pieces of this crazy technology. Somebody walks out and sees him. So in his mind, he goes, I gotta get out of here. So he just scoops up a bunch of stuff and takes off running without saying a word. So that whole thing, it was aliens invading or whatever, was just some guy who was like, geez, I gotta get out, and then took off. So that's about 9Ss in a nutshell. That's what we are and what we do. But, anything else? Thank you, guys.
All right.
Alright, so let's start with the qualifications to join the military just in general. These are more geared towards the Air Force. I'll briefly describe them, but when you apply to recruiters in general, it'll be one. Citizenship, real quick, either U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. If you're a permanent resident, you must have the 10-year permanent resident card. Unfortunately, this time we don't accept the 2-year card, only the 10-year one. And then if you're a permanent resident, you may only qualify for like certain career fields, so like logistics, and then medical, and then like some engineering career fields. But on the U.S. side though, over 130 different career fields. We have law enforcement, firefighter, cyber, intel. We have aviation, mechanical. That's our biggest one that our main focus is to. We have linguists. We have special warfare career fields. All kinds of different career fields. And most of the things on the civilian side, we do have in the Air Force as well too. So now a lot of people are like, oh well, I don't want to be a pilot or something like that. That's not the only job in the Air Force. We have all those other different career fields. Morals, what that's referring to is going to be like law violations or any traffic tickets. If you have those, we just have to put those on paper, and you may require like a waiver to join. It doesn't disqualify you. Age, we just recently changed our age from the age of 17 to 42. If you're 17 and you're a junior, going into your second half of your year, so April timeframe is as soon as you qualify to join the Air Force. But if you're 17, both parents must give permission for you to join. Once you turn 18 though, you're qualified to join. In which we do have a senior program too, which what that means is going to be your senior year around this time frame. So like in December, you should already kind of know if you're fully qualified what your job's going to be. So you'll already have a career lined up, and then you'll have college lined up for you too. So I know a lot of students are, well, I'm trying to get into this school, I'm going to this school. You're already going to, I have a career, I'm going to the Air Force, and I have college. So that's something to look forward to. As far as height and weight, depending on your height, there's a minimum requirement that's what you have to be for your weight, and then there's a maximum requirement that you have to be for your weight. Education, high school diploma, that makes life easier for you, that's the minimum. And then you only have to score a 31 on an ASVAB test, which is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. Have any of you guys taken that? Yes, sir. Alright, that's good. That's good. Anyone else? Alright, so two people. You got probably the first two that raise your hand, but pretty much if you don't know what that is, it's gonna test you on like math, English, science, mechanical, electrical questions. Those break down career fields within the Air Force which you can qualify for as far as how you get a job essentially. The second part of qualifying for the military is gonna be a medical physical, which is just a full body check that you're not doing push-ups, running, or anything like that. We're just making sure your full body is currently healthy to join the military. So ASVAB physical qualify you for the military. Just in general. Drugs, if you smoke marijuana, just stop doing that. You can still join the Air Force, but we're just gonna ask you about how many times have you done it. Any other illegal drugs, more than likely you're not gonna be qualified to join. But if you don't do drugs, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, just stay away from that stuff. When it comes to tattoos, our policy is you can't, if you have a hand tattoo, it can't cover more than 25% of your hand. And with that being said, you should only try to stick to like one tattoo because if you have multiple, then that 25% may go away kind of thing. And then on the back of the neck, you can have one behind the ear, but it can't be bigger than 1 inch right here. But if you don't have that stuff now, just don't do it. Because on the civilian side too, it doesn't look very professional to some companies, so you might not get hired. But any other tattoo, they can be anywhere on your body, just as long as they're not offensive, gangulated, extreme shapes, or anything racist and stuff like that. So if you don't have tattoos, just don't get them yet. Wait until later on in life if you do decide to do that. Medical, we're gonna ask you a whole bunch of medical questions like, you ever broken any bones, any scars? Have you ever ADHD, depression, asthma, stuff of that nature, allergies? There's a whole bunch more questions, but those are some of the common ones that we see. So if you have that stuff, it doesn't disqualify you, but we just have to get you cleared by our doctors first. Any questions about any of the qualifications so far? Benefits. The main ones that people are going to go for the military, again, it's going to be money, travel, quality of life, and education, and then job security, which we'll break down real quick as a civilian versus military. So as a civilian, if you're going on vacation, most jobs is going to be 2 weeks vacation. You have to work up to that, and then they're not paying you for that vacation. In the military, you're going to get 30 days per year. While you're on vacation, you're still getting paid. As far as medical and dental, anyone in here pay medical bills, dental bills? Ever seen one? They're not cheap. So I'm pretty sure right now your parents probably take care of that. Once you become 18 though, you're an adult, so you can start paying your bills if your parents force you to do that. How are you gonna cover that? Once you see that first bill, you're gonna have to change the part real quick on why your parents are so important or why the military can't help you. Because we're gonna cover your medical and dental bills. You don't ever have to pay for those. When it comes to security, Air Force, we have 4 minimum contract, 6-year contracts. So 4 to 6 years when you first come in. What that means is, remember when COVID happened, a lot of people lost their jobs, getting laid off, didn't know what they were gonna do. In the Air Force, we didn't get laid off or anything like that. We still kept our jobs. We went down to COVID measures, of course, but we were working 5 days a week. We went down to about 2 to 3 days, still getting paid like if we were working every day too. So job security is very important. No matter if it's the military or just in the civilian line too, you always want to have some kind of security. Travel, there's ample opportunity to travel. Depending on your job, you may travel more frequently, or when you deploy, or when you go, they send you to like a training school. So they're going to cover that as well too. Entertainment, on basis, we have gyms that you don't pay for, we have pools, we have hobby shops, there's golfing courses, all that stuff at like a discounted price. If you go out now, you have to pay full price. They're not going to discount it for you unless you have like a coupon or something. But in the military, we have this stuff on our installations, and it's a discounted price or free. Advancement, there's many opportunities to rank up in the military and Air Force in general, just because it's not like a civilian job to where you could be stuck in the same position for 10, 12 years and not even get thought about being promoted. And here we have timetables, and then what you're currently doing with your career as well to help you get to those timetables faster too. So it's more in your control versus on the civilian side where it's not really in your control to promote. Retirement, which we discussed earlier, 20 years of service, and you can retire. Job with career path, all jobs that we do in the Air Force are going to translate to the civilian side. So everything that we do, no matter what it is, we're going to send you to technical training school to teach you the job, which is the same thing as like a trade school. And then you're not paying for that either. You're going to get these certifications throughout your career too that are all paid for. So we'll send you to school to get you everything that you need to be successful in life and get that experience Education, like I said, joining the Air Force, you're gonna be right after basic military training, which is 7.5 weeks, San Antonio, Texas. While you're there, you're gonna be learning like marching and drilling. They're gonna be adapting to the Air Force lifestyle, customs and courtesy. You're gonna be doing physical fitness, so workouts and stuff like that, going through medical appointments, and then just in general, setting you up for life in the military and to be disciplined in order to do the job that we're asking you to do as well. So that's boot camp. Then you're gonna go to Texas training school. Then you're gonna go to your first duty assignment. You may be in career development courses, depending on how many bonds you have. You have to get those knocked out, then you can start education. While you're a full-time enlisted member, you can still take classes. You just have to work that into your schedule. Most people in the military, we do like online schooling, or we'll have teachers come out to the locations on our bases. Or if you're in a local area and you want to go to community college and they accept military tuition assistance, you can go there and take classes. So it's just about working into your schedule. But you're gonna get 4,500 per semester to take classes. So that money is kind of like same thing as financial aid. The only difference is it's not a guessing game. You're guaranteed as one of your benefits, you're gonna get that. Once you get out, let's say you do 4 years, you get in touch school and you just want to go to school full time. Now you have your GI Bill to go do that too. And we're gonna cover a portion of where you're living at while you're a full time student too. So there's different avenues as far as college goes. You can go the route to where you use financial aid, or you got a scholarship, or if you don't get any of those, now you're paying for college, now you're in debt. Or you can join the Air Force, and we're going to pay for your college and you get into work experience. So that's kind of the education options we have. And then just training in general, like I said, if we send you somewhere to go get a certification, like for instance, I had my hazmat repair course certification. I was in Virginia for 2 weeks. They paid for me to live there, paid for my food while I was there too, and then I got my certification. And then I can just use that on my resume as well too. So anytime we send you for training, we're gonna cover you, or just send you at a local location where you still pay to do that. Well, as far as just going to school. Money, when you first come in the dorms, if you're not married and have kids, we're gonna give you a place to live. So the quality of life is everything in the Air Force. You're gonna have like a pretty much a one-bedroom apartment. You're gonna live in your own single room. You may share like a kitchen or bathroom, but you're gonna have your own room. Other branches, from what I heard, they don't offer you that experience either, that quality of life. You may be in the barracks and share a room with many people, but in the Air Force, you're gonna get your own room. Dining hall, what we call them, you're gonna get 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All paid for. All you do is show your military ID card. Unless you live like outside of the dorms, then you have to pay for it, but it's still discounted for out in the economy. But you don't have to worry about meals because we're gonna give you that while you're living in the dorms. And then you don't pay water, electricity, or anything like that. So the money that you're getting is only for like if you're gonna spend, like if you want the internet for yourself, or if you want a cell phone, that kind of stuff outside the dorm. But as far as living in a place, we're gonna give you all that. Advancement, this is kind of our ranks from E1 to E9 while in the Air Force. This is when I was getting promoted while I was in the desert to my current rank, which is E6 Technical Sergeant. Travel, we have bases all over the U.S., multiple locations in the U.S. too, and then we also have locations overseas. Like we ever thought about like Europe, Japan, Portugal, Korea, things like that. You can be stationed there depending on what you're traveling. Community College of the Air Force. Like I said, I have my associates from Community College of the Air Force and transportation. So this is my main background.
The actual community college itself is in San Antonio, right?
No, it's located in the Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama.
Okay.
But it's more of a you just send your transcripts to that school, and then they essentially provide you with an associate's from the College of the Air Force. But you still go to like other colleges as well too.
Gotcha. You could do it online too, or?
Yeah. And
Okay.
Military, most people use online schooling just because it's more convenient, more easy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, a lot of I went to Embry-Riddle, and a lot of just military personnel in general, they go to Riddle because they have the worldwide program, so they do the online. You know,
Yeah,
so.
that's a big one for the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, quality of life, in that bottom left corner there, that's kind of how your room's going to be set up. Every base is a little different. It could be like different room variations, but again, your own bed, I think that's greater than sharing tents and barracks and all that other stuff. So quality of life is real big in your course. that's one of the dorm rooms. They'll provide you like with entertainment, so they may have like video game setups, pool table setups, movie theater essentially, movie room. But the gym, those are all Air Force bases. If they have like a gym there, they're more gonna be like state of the art gyms too. So you don't have to pay for any of this stuff. It's all provided to you for in the Air Force. Satisfaction. So for me, my satisfaction is kind of doing some volunteer work. This was the time when I was in Arizona with the elementary school kids, got to read to them and then hang out there and play games and stuff like that. I did base honor guard while I was deployed. It wasn't the full detail of honor guard, but I had the opportunity to do like a ceremony before, so like a flight detail. And then top left is just kind of like my ribbons for different things I've accomplished while I've been in the Air Force. So whatever you want to do, like as far as your hobbies or volunteering, whatever the case may be, to help you better yourself, you still have that time to do that while you're in the Air Force. Security, I had bought and sold two houses, so that was my security. That one of the reasons why I joined too, and then just having the job making me able to pay for this house too. So security is everything. Air Force needs, these are kind of like the jobs that are in high demand that we really look for. Special warfare is a big one. If you've ever, like most people who say they're joining the Marines because they wanted something tougher, cool. Come try out Special Warfare Program, come work out with us. We have PJs, which are pararescues, EOD, which is explosive ordnance. So if you ever seen movies with guys in bomb suits, those are what those guys are. We have SEER specialists, they teach you how to survive if you were ever like stranded or in enemy lines on how to come back with your arm group. And then also we have special reconnaissance, which we don't know much about that job just because it's so top secret, but essentially it's along the lines of being like a sniper. And then we have combat controllers, which they can go anywhere in a single team, and they can set up an airfield and go on the airfield. So if you want something tough, come try out for that, or go online, look up Special Operations Air Force. When you hear things about like Navy SEALs and stuff like that, there's usually an Air Force member attached to them. We just don't get the glory like they do. So that's something, if you have the heart and desire, you want something really physical, Special Warfare is where you want to look into. Linguists and computer programmers. Computers is a big one. It takes a lot to qualify for that, but if you have that knowledge, you can be like this gentleman, Airman Kirkland over here. And then as far as linguists, cryptologic linguists, like they're like language analysts. So we'll send you to a school. You can learn like Korean, Chinese, Arabic, depending on what language you have available at that time. But we'll teach you the language, and then it also comes with like a top secret class, which is very high and sought after, but a lot of people don't qualify for it just because they don't have the experience or the money to pay for those. But if you come in and you get that, it can definitely set you up and gear you towards a good successful life. Mechanical, electrical, aviation. Aviation is key. That is what the Air Force is. Air and space. So in order to keep those aircraft in the air, we need people who know how to fix those and ins and outs of them as well. So if you're ever thinking about doing that, Air Force is the best opportunity to do that because that's our main focus. And then security forces, which is law enforcement. So if you want to be military police, we have it in the Air Force as well. So there's different avenues and things you can do with that as well. But those are our kind of like high-end demands, and also like munition systems as well too. So those kind of things are what we're going to get you in the Air Force this week. Any questions? Yes, sir.
When you was in the rank, or when you were moving, was it quick or was it slow during your 15 years?
As far as the time,
Mhm.
I mean, it's been quick. Like if I was to think about it, like probably 2-3 years ago, I was still deciding if I'm gonna retire or not. Now I'm gonna retire. Like I have 4 more years left, and the time goes by fast. Just think of it like high school. From your freshman year to if you're a junior, senior, sophomore, like that goes by quick. So every day goes by quick. Like it doesn't even feel like I've been in the Air Force for this long because time just goes by fast, and then just all the experience I'm going through and things I'm learning and things I'm adapting to. So it's gone by quick for me.
Do you have a choice to move up? Like, if they tell you you have an opportunity to move up, can you not accept it, or do you have to accept it?
As far as rank?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's different scenarios depending on when you make the rank too. Like let's say if I was to make E7, which is Master Sergeant, and then I have 2 years left, or let's say 1 year. But in order to do that rank, I have to do it for 2 years. Then I have to make a decision: do I want to stay for an additional year, or do I just not want to take that rank and get out as an A6 with that 1 year left? So there's different scenarios, but if you reject it though, it's kind of like they're not always gonna force you out, but you did what you needed to do to make that rank, so you wouldn't want to say no. If that makes sense. Any other questions?
On that note, actually, can you talk about the requirements for each? Like, is it just time based or is it merit? Like, I'm sure there's merits and all that, and there's qualifications.
Yeah, so
like,
from E1 to E4, that's kind of just time based. You just wait your time. Once you get to E5 and E6, where you're putting on sergeant, that's a test required to do that, but they all have time as well too. But there's additional tests for those two. Once you make it past E6, you're gonna go for the master sergeant, which is E7, and any rank beyond that, you're gonna meet like a promotion board. So they're gonna look at kind of like your history of what you've done since like the last reporting period. So every year we get like a report card per se, if that's what you want to compare it to, and they're gonna look at what have you done from this year to this year. And then they're gonna rack and stack you against other candidates that are also trying to go for that rank too. So that's kind of how like our promotion works. Yes, sir.
You go all 15 years without getting promoted? You go 15 years without getting promoted?
Can you go 15 years without getting promoted, like ever?
Like, like from like the time based into like the report card based.
So pretty much the time really starts once you get to like E5 to where you have to do tests and pass and everything like that. But recently, a few years ago, they changed it to where you can retire as an E5, which is a staff sergeant. So you can do 20 years of service after that, then you have to. They force you out at that point.
What is like the big difference between each rank?
Between each rank?
Like,
So
like let's say from like E5 to E6 and E7 and so forth.
So from E5 to E6, your level of responsibilities change. But that's throughout. Once it keeps going up, your levels of responsibility just change. You get more of a leadership role, and then you just make it to where that point to where you're overseeing things too. So managerial, and then supervising, managerial stuff like that. It just goes up from there. But that's the biggest difference. There's other differences too that are often
Yeah. From like a junior enlisted point of view, other airmen kind of like whatever, it's just a guy. The sergeant, fair respect to my supervisor and the master sergeant is I'm watching everything that I do. Because that is a different level of discipline that they will lay on you.
So that's like a big difference from E6.
That's like a boss's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, like E5 and E6 is kind of the same ballpark per se, but E7, E8, E9, that's different managerial. They're overseeing all the people below them too, so they have a lot more responsibility as far as leadership goes. But that's the biggest difference.
what's the equivalent? Like, if you're an officer, like, what would be the equivalent on the enlisted side? Like, how does the organizational chart work? I guess is a. I know it's a lot.
As far as
equivalent
goes, it's kind of only the equivalent would be like the E1 to E9, and then there's the only difference is O1 to wherever the case may be, up to general and everything like that. But as far as roles, like that lieutenant coming brand new in can have like 1 or 2 years experience and be jumped up to the top and be your boss. So coming in as an officer, you have a bigger role. You're like a CEO of the company overseeing everything.
Yeah.
So where like on the enlisted side, yes, we have like our chiefs and everything, which are like the top dogs for us on the enlisted side. But that officer still can be in a higher position for them because they oversee everything. They're like commanders per se. They're in charge of everything, and they have more responsibilities over oversight and compass.
Gotcha. And you guys are more the day to day, and they oversee like the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, we're more hands on. They're overseers per se.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Guys, what are some of the careers that you'd be interested? You could talk about the career path, like because I asked a question last class. Remember about like cybersecurity? We can use that one as an example. Like you will go to Texas, right, San Antonio, and then kind of just talk about that process.
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to like whatever your career path is, like whatever job you're selected for in the Air Force, we're gonna send you to that tactical training school, which is essentially just the same thing as a trade school to teach you the job. So you're in class like Monday through Friday. Most schools are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30, 7:30 to whatever time. They have some have rotating schedules depending on what your job is. But you're a student at that point, and then once you're done with that, you're either gonna be on track to get your certification once you get to like your first duty assignment and just finish like your hands-on training, or you may already have your certification during that school. It just kind of varies, but most of the certifications are done once you get to your first duty assignment. But we're teaching you the basic skills to what we have called like a 3 level essentially. So you start off as 0, and then when you get the text and graduate, you become like a level 3, and then when you do your first duty assignment, and then you do on-the-job training, that's when you become a skill level 5, and then while you're on your career, you go from there. But we're gonna teach you everything you need, all paid for.
Yeah.
In the Air Force, do you have to get deployed? Like, is that like a requirement?
That's military in general. So when you sign up, you're signing up knowing that you could possibly get deployed. But I've been deployed 6 times. I've heard people in longer than me never deployed. It kind of comes down to what your career is and then your situation at that time, though. So there's no guarantee, but you do have a possibility, and that's what you're signing up for.
You talk about the airbase. Remember, you talked about last class the process of selecting what airbase you want to go to and the dream sheet. I think it was. You said.
So the last week of boot camp, if I'm not mistaken, you're gonna do what's called a dream sheet. Pretty much, you're gonna fill out assigned locations that you want to go to, but at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to the Air Force needs and where you need a vacancy filled at. But based off your locations and your job, your job may only have like, let's say, six locations, but then let's say you list like 12 locations. Those 12 locations may not even be to where your job is. So you want to focus on knowing where your job is located and putting those in the priority and preference of where you're trying to go to. But if you, let's say for instance, you list like 12 different locations in Japan, but your job's only in like Washington, and you already know you're not going to Japan, so you just place the state. So you're going to Washington, you just don't know where in Washington you're going. But every job has specific locations depending on the job. Some jobs are located everywhere, so you have a possibility to go everywhere, but of course, not all jobs have that much you can go everywhere. But when you fill out your preference and you try and get your number 1, if that doesn't work, we're going to send you to the next location off your list, or if none of those locations are available, we're going to send you to where you need for the Air Force.
Just talk about career prospects after the Air Force.
Yeah, so like for me, like I said, my transportation degrees in logistics. So for me, being in logistics, like I can go anywhere in the world because that career field is everywhere. Transportation's everywhere, right? Being that I have 13 years of experience in that career field, now when I go apply for any logistics job, I'm not going to start off as a red at the bottom. Like I'm going to be a supervisor or above. And with my degree as well too, that should help me be bumped into more of a supervisor role. But like after the military, which you want to set yourself up for, like every job in the Air Force equates to something on the civilian side. There's a site you can even go to and look all this stuff up to. You can type in like a job in the Air Force, and then it'll tell you the civilian jobs and the pay and what kind of education you need and everything like that too. But for instance, cyber, you come in, get your security plus or never plus degree. You can do 4 or 6 years, get out, and then go work for these companies that you're trying to get hired for. Like a lot of people go to college right now, they get these associates, bachelors, and then no offense to them, but they're working at like Walmart or Target, and they're not even using the degree they got the degree for. So now they're just in college debt. So having experience is key. You're not going to get hired for anywhere unless you know somebody, unless you have the experience. So they want to know that you're able to do the job and that you have some kind of skill in that job. So joining the military will definitely set you up for that. And then military preference, a lot of jobs have that, so you're gonna get bumped up over other people that don't have any experience that you have. So let's say if you both went to college, you both have the same degree, you have military on there, that jumps you up right away.
Yep.
So it's making yourself stand out amongst others that are just doing their norm per se.
Yeah, because they're gonna pick someone from the military over someone on the civilian side just because of the leadership aspect. So like when you go up in rank, that's like it's more valuable experience than on the civilian side. So definitely something to consider. All right, guys. Any other questions? All right, let's thank you for the time.